And the Sweet 16 marches into its final night. Over a month ago, 443 high school girls basketball teams started sectional play. 16 marched into Veterans Auditorium, and with them came nearly 90,000 paying spectators, a record-breaking attendance at the tournament. With them also one team with a lady coach. 3 teams that had coaches coaching their own daughters in the Sweet 16. 3 teams came in unbeaten. One had a 58-game winning string snapped as part of our state tournament. And offense was the name of the game, as coming up in the title game, 95-point average for Adel, 88-point average for Manilla. 2 teams that had never won the state championship before, but both had been bridesmaids in the last 3 years. And one of them tonight, you'll see, become a bride, the state champion of girls basketball for the state of Iowa. Join us now for all the fun, the color, the pageantry, as only Iowans know, the Sweet 16.
Ask any girl that ever appeared in the Sweet 16, and probably the highlight of her trip next to championship night would be the Thursday morning breakfast, an annual affair hosted by the Greater Des Moines Chamber of Commerce. At this particular breakfast, the tournament girls get to see their own queen selected. She's a nominee from one of the teams participating. But they meet and greet dignitaries. The Honorable Governor of Iowa, Robert D. Ray, has been at the breakfast, and the Honorable Mayor of Des Moines, Richard E. Olson, and Harold Allen, the President of the Greater Des Moines Chamber of Commerce. At the breakfast, all 16 teams have their nominees. Only one can be the queen of the tournament, and the queen of the Sweet 16 for 1974 was lovely Sandy Schultz of Hampton. Though the Hampton Bulldogettes didn't win the state tournament, they did come in undefeated, but among the honors they took home was the queen, Sandy Schultz from Hampton, queen of the breakfast for 1974. Part of the capacity crowd to see Iowa's #1 basketball team determined is Iowa's #1 family, the family of Governor Robert D. Ray, -1. The one that's not there is daughter Randy. Goes up later as part of the Parade of Champions, a champion diver this year at her high school. Only 4 basketball teams perform on the championship night. The other 12 are presented as part of the Parade of Champions. First of all, meet the kids from Andrew. Coach Bob Sampson in Jackson County brought Andrew to the tournament with a record of 24-2. But the Hawks lost a heartbreaker to Ankeny in overtime in the first round. Ankeny from Polk County was close to home. Coach Dick Rasmussen and his Hawkettes won 22 and lost only 3 to the first year, and they lost to mighty Manilla in the quarterfinals of the tournament. Audubon from Audubon County, brought to town by Coach Bruce Atkins. A great record for the Wheelerettes. They won 20 and lost only 4 this year. They too went to the sideline because of Manilla, and they went out in the first round. Dayton, coached by the only lady coach in the field this year, Sharon Lesline, comes from Webster County. They lost to Woodbine in the first round, but the Tigerettes had a great year of 22-2. Hampton, coached for the first time by Carol Rugland, who formerly coached state champions from Montezuma, came to town from Franklin County. They were unbeaten and put their record all of 25-0. And the Bulldogs finally were beaten in the quarterfinal by Woodbine. Mark Budd is the head coach of Hartley. They came from O'Brien County, and they lost to Southeast Polk in the first round of the tournament. But the Hawkettes had a great year, finishing with 21 wins and only 3 losses on the campaign. Les Heiser had 2 of his own daughters on the team for Hubbard from Hardin County, and they put up a real scrap before losing to #1 rated Adel in the first round of the tournament. The Hawkettes of Hubbard finished their season with 21 wins and only 5 losses. Maquoketa Valley is a consolidation from the Delaware County area. Max Anderson, in his first year as coach of Maquoketa Valley, had a record of 21 wins and only 5 losses for the Wildcats. A tournament perennial, Mediapolis, and their coach, Vernon Bud McClure from Des Moines County. Well, they lost to Adel in the quarterfinals, but they'd won 57 consecutive basketball games. The defending champions of this tournament were the Bullets. Rockwell Swaledale, coached by Norm Dale, came to the tournament from Cerro Gordo County, and they put up a real battle before having their tournament dream ended by Southeast Polk in the quarterfinals. The Revellettes finished a fine season, 22-6. The Cinderella team this year had to be Sumner, coached by veteran Otis Roby from Bremer County. Here's a team that finished up their year 12-11. But the Acettes also were in the Sweet 16. They were eliminated by Hampton in the opening round. The furthest from home, West Lyon High School. Coach Bill Lombard bringing the girls in from extreme northwest Iowa in Lyon County. The Wildcats finished their season 23-2 after being beaten by Rockwell Swaledale in the opening game of the tournament. These were the 112 girl participants as far as basketball was concerned, other than the 4 teams playing in the consolation and the championship game. But there were other champions, and now you're seeing the parade of champions of 21 other sports in the Girls Athletic Union. Some are individual champions, and many are team champions, but each and every one has earned the title champion in either 1973 or 1974. And as part of the parade of champions wearing the many colorful uniforms of the 21 individual or team sports in which they won that particular honor. This is pageantry at its greatest in the state of Iowa, featuring young people. For 199 champions are introduced, in addition to the 112 girl basketball players that were already presented. And during the evening, the capacity crowd of 14,319 people will meet and greet a student presentation that totals 481 athletes, flag carriers, musicians, and champions, all part of the Sweet 16 in Des Moines that makes up the great color and pageantry of Iowa girls basketball at its very best. And as we move towards the inspiring parade of champions, a student announcer, Dominic Versates.
Presentation of the flag we all know and love, the best state in the land, Iowa! Of America has made our country truly the land of the free and the home of the brave. May we continue to prosper in the future as we have in the past.
excellent show band is the Music Masters of Valley High, West Des Moines. Jerry Kinney, director. Now the starters for the championship game. First, the guards. From Adel, number 31, Sherry Bloom. Manilla, number 20, Sheila Bauer. From Adel, number 21, Judy Linneman. From Manilla, number 30, Kathy Bauer. From Adel, number 25, Pat Turley. From Manilla, number 44, Shelley So. The forwards from Adel, number 5, Julie Goodrich. From Manilla, number 24, Michelle Rusterman. From Adel, number 15, Barb Strait. From Manilla, number 10, Jean Rusterman. From Adel, number 51, Joyce Elder. And from Manilla, number 32, Donna Schroer. The Adel coach, Larry Niemeyer. And the Manilla coach, Larry Bullock.
Here we go. Frosty, play-by-play begins of one of the most eagerly awaited championship games we've ever had. Adel in the black uniforms will be playing against the Manilla Hawkettes, and Coach Larry Bullock giving his gals some last-minute instructions and encouragement out there. Now the teams take the court.
Here we go. The tension is there, Jim. You can almost cut it with a knife. And to tell everybody about it in the state championship game, a champion in his own right, my pleasure to work with Jim Zabel.
Thank you very much, Frosty. And now the officials in some last-minute discussion as they are looking into the backcourt. It'll be Michelle Rosterman, Jean Rosterman, Donna Schroer in the front court of Manilla, Sheila Bauer, Kathy Bauer, Shelley So in the backcourt. A double sister combination there. Rosterman, Bauer, and Bauer. And for Adel, it'll be Julie Goodrich, Barb Strait, and Joyce Elder in the front court. Sherry Bloom, Judy Linneman, and Patty Turley in the backcourt. Keep your eye on number 25 in black. In the backcourt of Adel, number 25, Patty Turley, one of the best guards in the state, despite the fact Debbie Coates got 62 points against her. Frosty, Coach Larry Niemeyer thought that she played one of her better floor games against Mediapolis.
Well, Jim, while we're keeping our eyes on guards, take a good look at that number 44 when you get a chance. Shelley So, she's only a sophomore, but she's had a great tournament.
All right, the play begins in the front court of in front court of Adel, we should say, talking about Mediapolis. And here's Julie Goodrich, number 5, and right off the bat, we have a foul called on Sheila Bauer, number 20, in the backcourt of Manilla. So now it's Adel, the Tiger up to the ball. Popped away from Julie Goodrich. Some fine defensive play right away, and the Manilla Hawkettes have the ball in forecourt. They're wearing their white uniforms tonight. Normally they wear their solid green. Here's Michelle Rosterman and Jean Rosterman. And aggressive play once again brings up a steal. Sherry Bloom comes up with a theft. And so far it's been the guards that have dominated things. Patty Turley throws the ball into forecourt. A foul is called on Joyce Elder. Elder is their leading scorer, averaging about 43 a game.
Our viewers might remember she turned an ankle badly last night, Jim. I watched her warm up. They've got the wrap on. It does not appear to me to be any factor in this ball game.
Now it's Manilla with the ball in forecourt. The Hawkettes have it. Jean Rosterman and Michelle Rosterman play catch with Donna Schroer, the other member of the front court. Michelle Rosterman, the tall gal with a perfect posture, puts the ball up there, and Patty Turley, number 25, in the guard court for Adel. Picks it up, and they force her into a turnover. You can only hold on to that ball 3 seconds, and those forwards are playing some defense for Manilla.
Both teams are just a little bit tournament tense right now, and you can understand it.
Underneath to Michelle Rosterman. Back again to Donna Schroer along the right baseline. Now Michelle Rosterman. Back again to Patty Turley. Look at that baseball lob she throws into forecourt. Julie Goodrich starts her drive, and Shelley So is on her like a glove. Back again to Julie. Julie shot is short, and they're really over-committing on her to try and force her off balance on her shot. Joyce Elder intercepts. Wild shot by Joyce. Goodrich goes after the ball, and a foul is on number 44, Shelley So. Notice how close they're guarding in both ends. Both these coaches are going for that Tiger defense. They're really pursuing and really playing tight. Okay, a bounce pass underneath to Goodrich. Off-balance shot again, and she can't get it. And this guard court is playing with some aggressive authority out there. Shelley So threw the ball across the line. Manilla Hawkettes have it. Jonna Schroer.
Donna broke the ice last night.
Correction. Dean Rosterman puts it through the hoop, and we have a 2-0 ball game. Dean is wearing number 10 tonight, and here's Julie Goodrich for Adel, passing off at the last minute, but the ball winds up in the hands of Kathy Bauer. And right now, you have to say it's Manilla that has the momentum. Manilla Hawkettes with the ball in forecourt. Jean Rosterman, she's only a sophomore, and there's a blocking foul on Patty Turley.
You know, Jim, last night Adel did get in foul trouble early in the ball game. At halftime, we said they were in foul trouble. They came out and played the whole third quarter with only one personal foul.
As a matter of fact, Patty Turley fouled out in the third quarter of the first game that she played here at tournament, and now the ball is out of bounds and touched by number 31, Sherry Bloom. It'll be played in by Jean Rosterman, number 10.
Tremendous quickness, fantastic defense thus far.
All right, underneath, and Michelle Rosterman on the out-of-bounds play. Michelle Rosterman at that time gets in around Judy Linneman. It's a 4-0 game in favor of Manilla. Manilla, a definite underdog in this game tonight. Barb Straight with the ball to Joyce Elder on the left side. Straight. They gang up on her, and she makes it. You know, a lot of times when Elder and Goodrich are having problems, they go to Straight, and so far she's come through for them.
Yes, they talk about the 1-2 punch. I think it's 1-2-3.
And Michelle Rosterman getting her angle, but not getting the shot. Second effort is good. Michelle Rosterman now with 4 points and a 6-2 lead for the Manilla Hawkettes. Julie Goodrich. Barb Straight. Elder. Out to Julie. Barb Straight. Goodrich. Look at So come over. She's got about a 6-inch height advantage on her. Elder pops it through.
Joyce Elder, who had that great fourth quarter last night, so far in the tournament got 39 against Hubbard, 28 against Mediapolis, and 39 more against Woodbine last night.
6-4 lead for Manilla. Rosterman to Schroer, back to Jean Rosterman, only a sophomore. As she drives in, and a charging foul is called on Jean. Rosterman trying to barrel down the lane that time. Jean Rosterman's 5 feet 8, 15 years old, just a sophomore.
They have a third sister, Diane Rosterman, who's not in there right now, but sometimes has started this year.
Adel now will throw the ball down to the backcourt. Patty Turley to Bloom. Is she going to travel or get it across the line? They can only hold it for 3 seconds to Elder. Julie Goodrich bobbles the ball, but pass possession again. Starts her drive, and a foul called on Sheila Bauer. Sheila Bauer picks up foul number 2.
Tight guarding there by Manilla. They're really keeping the pressure right on those forwards from Adel.
They're trying to bottle up the passing lanes and overplay, so we come up with the interception. And Joyce Elder sees some daylight and finds out who. Elder. 6-6 is the score. Adel comes from a 4-point deficit to tie it up. Here's Manilla. Rosterman underneath to Schroer. Back to Jean Rosterman again. Nice play by Rosterman.
You know, Jim, this duel between Jean Rosterman and Joyce Elder, they both came into this game with 106 points in the tournament for third place in the scoring derby.
8-6 in favor of Manilla, and another foul coming up here. Number 20, Sheila Bauer. Well, Larry Bullock is looking over his bench, and I think Larry wants to call a timeout. Timeout. Sheila and Kathy are staying in there, but it looks like they've...
That little lady at the free throw line, incidentally, Jim, only makes 78% on the season of her free throws.
Julie Goodrich, miss all everything at Adel. She's even the state tap dancing champion at the state fair. Won the talent search last summer out there. Both free throws by Goodrich tie it up here at 8. We have Debbie Keat as they've come into the ball game in the backcourt for Manilla, number 54. Manilla now with the ball in forecourt, score tied at 8. And here's Jean Rosterman. One half of the sister combination. She likes that bank shot. 6 points for Jean. She could be off to a good night tonight.
Between she and her sister, they have all 10 points in the ball game.
The throw in, Elder to Goodrich. Started by Debbie Keat. Time. Back again to Bowers. Also in there. Back again to Barb Straight. Barb Straight with her second straight jump shot. And now Adel ties it up at 10. Jean Rosterman. Donna Schroer. And Jean Rosterman underneath to Donna. And Wide open play. That's the one both coaches like.
Tremendous balance. Evidence there, Jim. The third forward have just gotten the bucket on each end of the floor.
12-10 Manila. And here's Joyce. Can't give her that shot. She'll make that one on you.
All-state baseball catcher and back another year.
And also not bad at the shot on the discus. 12-12 is the score. Even Steve, two excellent ball clubs. Donna Schroer. Michelle Rosterman, and back to Jean. Defend a little bit too much force, and Bloom comes off with the rebound for Adel. Linneman. Ball batted out of bounds. Aggressive guard play by Kathy Bauer. She slaps it out of bounds. Can't control it. Joyce Elder will put it into play for the Tigerettes of Adel. Tied up here, 12-12. Barb Strait, the gal who has put in 2 straight shots. Goodrich down the line. Elder, that's the same play that Manilla scored on, getting the one forward loose underneath there, and it's 14-12. Adel leading.
Adel's great poise. Of course, 5 out of these 6 Adel girls started the state championship game a year ago.
Michelle Rosterman, and she is guarded too closely down there by Judy Linneman. Pat Turley, number 25, the guard we're saying, is throwing the ball in. Bounce pass, intercepted, and follow-through shot. That one was by Jean Rosterman. Jean now has 4 field goals and 8 points and a 14-14 game.
With that, she just became the second biggest scorer in this tournament, replacing Debbie Coates, the top scorer, Sue Frakes from Southeast Polk.
And here's Joyce Elder, baseliner. Joyce Elder already, ladies and gentlemen, has 10 points. And Frosty, we still have 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Elder could be off on her biggest scoring binge of the tournament so far. Haley with a steal up to Goodrich. 16-14, Adel in front. They have the ball, and there's Goodrich. Look at that shot by Julie Goodrich. Joyce, 4th point.
Joyce Elder, who made the feed pass, had just made 5 field goals in a row.
18-14, Adel. Jean Rosterman. Donna Schroer. Michelle Rosterman. Sets and shoots. That's her favorite shot. That's an old-fashioned set shot, but it's not old-fashioned in 1974 when you can put it through the hoop. 18-16. Joyce Elder with the ball. Adel with the lead. Slapped away from her. Foul is coming up here on Kathy Bauer.
Kathy, of course, is fast getting into foul trouble in this ball game. That has been a problem for her so far in the tournament. This Joyce Elder can shoot free throws, 71%.
Right, they're in the 1-on-1, and now Joyce is at the line. Elder at the free throw line. Joyce Elder up there again, and now it's Manilla. Shelley So, a 6-foot-tall guard. Tapped out of bounds. Look at that aggressiveness by Elder. She winds up in the stands. Joyce Elder.
You know, she's on the track team, not a hurdler, but she gave a pretty good exhibition right there.
You know, for a gal who had a banged-up ankle last night and was really favoring it, she has made a surprising comeback. Okay, over the line with the ball, number 30, Kathy Bauer, who's playing with 2 fouls on her. Donna Schroer. Back again to Jean Rosterman to the top of the circle. Here's Michelle Rosterman. Schroer over to Jean. Loves that carry-up shot, and it just barely gets over the lip of the basket that time, and down through. Credit her with 10 points and 5 field goals. Barb Strait, 19-18. Adel leading by 1. Goodrich on that hook shot.
That little girl is exactly, Jim, every great baseball team has one like her at second base or shortstop. Every great football team has one like her at quarterback.
Tremendous playmaker and shooter. Jean Rosterman. Look at that quickness. Look at that shot.
And what a shootout we've got going, as we predicted right now.
Right, 6 field goals for Jean Rosterman at 12 points, 21-20 Adel, and we're still in the first quarter. Multiply that by 4, and we could be in the 80s or 90s. Elder. Shelley So and Elder battle for it, and look at that save made by Elder to Goodrich. Back to Elder again. She recovers. But the ball winds up in the hands of Kathy Bauer. Rosterman will across the line. 5 seconds to play in the first quarter. Michelle Rosterman, and girls, of course, they make no effort to shoot because they retain possession between quarters. And that's the end of the first quarter with the score, Adel 21, Manilla 20. Frosty, this was a sizzling first quarter, as we both agreed it would be.
You expected a shootout, and we got it. Manilla shot 66.6 in the first quarter. Adel shot 60% in the first quarter. Fantastic.
And Adel leading by 1 slim point, but Rosterman could change all that. Underneath to Donna Schroer, back to Jean Rosterman again. She likes the looks of that shot. Slap right back at her. She's still in possession. Sister Michelle Rosterman, number 24. Look at her set. Jean comes down and is fouled. Fouled by Judy Linneman. Linneman picks up number 2. And we're in the second quarter with a score 21-20 in favor of Adel. Donna Schroer. Back to Jean Rosterman. There's that carry up top by Jean Rosterman.
She goes either way down that lane. She can give it to either left hand or the right hand or straight in.
And 14 points for Jean. And right now, Manilla leading 22-21. Elder with the ball for Adel. Back to Goodrich. Elder. Joyce Elder shows how it's done on that two-handed jump shot from the left side.
You know, Jim, you got to realize that Manilla, number 6 rated in the state. The only team that beat him in the whole year was number 3 Maple Valley.
Right, and there's Jean Rosterman coming back. What a personal battle between Elder and Jean Rosterman. Jean Rosterman right now with 16 of her team's 24 points. 24-23, Manilla leading. Barb straight. Adel with the ball. Out to Joyce Elder. To straight. Underneath to Elder. Goodrich. Elder. And is it going to go in? Barb straight. Second effort is good. She's fouled. Foul is on Deb Keat, number 54.
Little lady at the line out there, Barb Strait, is the only non-returning starter for Adel this year. Mary Carroll was the girl's name that played her job last year.
And Barb Strait is at the free throw line. She makes it a 3-point play. And the score is now Adel 24, Manilla 24. We're in the second quarter of the state championship game of Iowa girls basketball for 1974 from the auditorium. Jean Rosterman tried to hit Sister Michelle, but she wasn't there. Didn't break quite far enough, and it's going to be Patty Turley throwing the ball in, number 25. What a fine guard she is, Frosty.
Yes, she has. She was all-tournament a year ago, and you might hear from her later tonight. That's yet to be named.
Ellie Broom with the ball. Back to Patty Turley. Adel has it in forecourt. Elder, and a foul on number 30, Kathy Bauer, and that's trouble because that's foul number 30.
Matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me, Jim, that we've got 2 all-tournament guards on that court right now and maybe 4 all-tournament team members out there performing.
Kathy Bauer. Land O'Lakes Incorporated has purchased the exclusive telecast rights of the Saturday night 1974 Iowa Girls High School Basketball Tournament for the pleasure and convenience of the viewing audience. No rebroadcast or reproduction of any kind is permitted without the express written authority of the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Union and Land O'Lakes Incorporated. Okay, the free throws now make it a 27-24 ball game. Adel leading by 3. Donna Schroer over to Jean Rosterman.
Jean is 8 out of 10 in the first half.
And Jean Rosterman, red hot. Look at Miss Sister Michelle trying the banker, and she decided she was going to make that one, and she made it good. 8 points for Michelle Rosterman. Barb Strait, number 15.
Michelle being a senior, Jean's another one of the super sophomores in this tournament.
Goodrich had to scramble for it, but she's quick. Over to Barb Strait. Elder, guarded by Shelley So. Look at her hook it back over her head. How do you like that one?
Well, if anybody's wondering about her sore ankle, it must be okay.
16 points now for Joyce Elder. 16 points for Jean Rosterman. That's the personal vendetta going out there between these gals. Jean Rosterman over to Michelle. Back to Jean again. She sizes up the opportunity and lets her fly, and it's rebounded by Sherry Bloom. Sherry Bloom spells her name B-L-O-M-E. Goodrich can't get to the ball, but getting to it is Shelley So, who stands 6 feet tall.
Great tournament for a sophomore.
Jean Rosterman. Bounce pass to Michelle. Look at that play. And a basket out of it. Boy, credit Sister Jean Rosterman with a fantastic bounce pass on that one.
I believe this is easily Manilla's best first half of the tournament, Jim.
They want this one. 29-28 Adel. And Adel with the ball. Goodrich to Strait. Barb Strait down the lane. Hits it from the bottom of the circle. 31-28. Adel is leading. Donna Schroer has the ball underneath to Michelle Rosterman. Back to Jean. Jean tried to go in for the shot. kind of lost control of the ball, and I believe it was touched by Adel. It was touched by Judy Linneman. Now Judy Linneman's going out. She's replaced by Colleen Carroll of Adel.
She's the younger sister of Mary Carroll, who was the other starter last year.
There's Donna Schroer. Rebounded by Donna. Now she decides if she doesn't make it the first time, she makes it the second.
That's what your coach means when he says follow your shot.
31-30 is the score. Adel out in front by 1. Julie Goodrich. Ball slapped away from her by Kathy Bauer. Now it's in forecourt for Manilla. They have a chance for the lead. Here's Jean Rosterman. And that's the type she has been making. Colleen Carroll's off of the rebound to Shelley Bloom. She taps it over to Goodrich. Julie has the ball. Look at that off-the-ball movement and a great feed to Goodrich and a score. And credit Barb Strait with a great assist on that one.
Tremendous passing and cutting in that Adel forward court.
Look like a good quarterback at football, just lateraling it out there. Jean Rosterman, guarded by Colleen Carroll. Michelle Rosterman, guarded by Patty Turley. That's a good one-on-one combo of state championship caliber. Michelle Rosterman, how do you like that shot? An underhanded, kind of a shovel shot. 33-32 Adel, and what a ball game we're seeing here with a foul now coming up on Debbie Keith.
And it'll be Julie Goodrich going to the line. 4th team All-Stater last year, All-Tournament last year. She's what makes them go. One of the top track performers in the state. Jim, you mentioned her ability as a tap dancer. She also gives Red Cross swimming lessons and was the teen queen of Adel.
When does she find time to sleep? Julie Goodrich gets 2 free throws. 34-32, 35-32 Adel. Debbie Keat with the ball now for Manilla. The Hawkettes have it in forecourt. Donna Schroer over to Jean Rosterman. And there she goes with that favorite shot this time, although she got ahead of herself and traveled. 35-32. Adel leading Manilla.
Standing room only at the auditorium, and this one they're going to get their money's worth.
Joyce Elder back to Barb Strait. Out to Julie Goodrich. Underneath to Joyce. Let's watch her. See what she does with that ball. As she drives in, she draws a foul, this time for Kathy Bauer, and there's big trouble. 4 fouls on Kathy Bauer. And Larry Bullock has got to start looking to his bench now. With 3:12 left to go in the first half, Larry wants a timeout.
She did foul out last night.
Now, and here's Joyce Elder coming to the line. She can give Adel its biggest lead if she makes these 2 free throws. First one is good.
She's 72% on the season, only a junior in high school.
And she's there as a result of the 4th foul on Kathy Bauer. And that makes it a 5-point lead for Adel, their biggest margin. Debbie Keat and Goodrich lets the ball go out of bounds, so it'll be played in by Adel.
3 big turnovers for Manilla, 2 in the forward court, now 1 in the guard court.
Here's Goodrich with the ball. Julie out to Barb Strait. Look how close they're guarding there. Elder gets in behind Shelley So, forces her way in, and one thing about Elder, she has the strength to get in there, and even though she's playing against a 6-foot gal, she'll get the shot or get the foul or both. And right now,
Kathy Bauer comes back in, Jim. That means Larry Bullock is going for broke at this particular stage. He sends her back in even in foul trouble. We have a contact lens problem for Barbara Strait down.
And now they go over to talk to Coach Bullock. In the backcourt now we have Kathy Bauer, number 30.
And that was her sister, Sheila Bauer.
Sheila Bauer.
You know, I like this guard, this sophomore, Shelley So, down there. They had one of the great guards of all time, Meg Hennessy, in their 1970 runner-up team.
Right, and now we see Joyce Elder at the charity line. 38-32 is the score, with Joyce now up to 19 points, give her 20.
And they both can hit you with such a burst so fast.
Biggest lead now for Adel, 39-32 across the line. 3 costly turnovers, as we mentioned. Turned this game around a little bit for the present time. Donna Schroer over to Jean Rosterman. Underneath, Donna Schroer sees daylight and gets the score. Donna Schroer with her 6th point of the night, 39-34. Adel is in front, and the Tigerettes have the basketball. Elder back again. Here's Elder with it. Barb Strait to Goodrich. Now to Elder underneath. Elder operating along that baseline against Sheila Bauer, and she pumps it through. 22 points for Joyce Elder.
That's a basketball team that 9 times this year has gone over 100 points.
95-point average.
At 91 points in one of the tournament games.
41-34 is the score, and make that 41-36 now. Adel out in front. And It'll be put in play. We have a substitution.
Another twisted ankle out there, Jim. This time it's for Adel, and hobbling over there just a little bit was
Colleen Carroll. There's a timeout on the floor. The score, Adel 41 and Manilla 36.
Linda Johnson of Ankeny. Incidentally, you saw tonight, Jim, on crutches in the Parade of Champions. She's the girl that banged up a knee.
Yeah, that was a tragic moment, too, because you hate to see anybody out with an injury when we get down to the championship game. Goodrich with the ball. Bounce pass to Straight. It's a loose ball. It'll be a jump. And now Kathy Bauer will jump against Barb Straight.
You got to like this balance Adel has. Straight was 9, Goodrich was 10, and 20 for Elder.
And that's the way they've been all season. All three in double figures. Interception, Judy Linneman. Goodrich. Back again to Goodrich. Now that play, the Bowers did a good job of covering, but now we do have 4 fouls on Kathy Bauer. We inadvertently gave her 4 early, and now she does have them, actually. So Larry Bullock has got to be concerned. He looks to his bench. We see Debbie Keat about ready to come in, number 54. And Goodrich will go to the line for 2 shots. Adel, 41, Manilla, 36. And here's Debbie Keat coming in, replacing Kathy Bauer with 4 fouls. Goodrich makes her second one. 42-36. Adel out in front. 1:54 to play in the first half. Shelley So, the big post guard, throws it across up to Jean Rosterman. There's the super sophomore, Jean Rosterman, getting her 20th point.
That shootout between she and Joyce Elder is all 20-20 right now, just like hindsight.
They're liable to wind up with 100 points between them tonight, the way they're going. Now, Elder gets an angle, and in there, right in back of Debbie Keat, she drives in to get her 24th point of the first half. Fantastic shooting. 44-38. Adel out in front, and here's Michelle Rosterman now.
Adel doesn't double team anybody on defense. Jim, you'll remember with Debbie Coates from Mediapolis getting 62. They stayed with just Turley, one-on-one.
Right, and Coach Niemeyer's theory is let the star get her points. So you can't stop her anyway, usually. And we'll try and beat them otherwise. That's exactly what they did. Here's Elder with the ball. Pivots around twice to Goodrich, now to Barb Straight. Sooner or later, they get that opening. And here's Elder once again on second effort, coming in against Shelley So. And Shelley So just gave a shrug of her shoulders and said, what am I supposed to do? 46-40. Adel out in front. Jean Rosterman. Back again, and now a foul is called on Judy Linneman.
Jim, the next time that Joyce Elder scores, she will become the leading scorer in this basketball tournament.
3 fouls on Judy Linneman.
Sue Frakes of Southeast Polk holds that honor in the scoring derby at the present time.
At the line is Jean Rosterman. Rosterman with 20 points so far in the first half. Give her 21.
Jim, that's only the first free throw attempt in the first half for Manilla. Jean Rosterman at the line to shoot the bonus finished 3rd in the state free throw competition yesterday.
The only guard in foul trouble for Adel is Judy Linneman with 3. Nobody else had more than 1. Not so for Manilla, where they got 3, 4, and 2 fouls against their backcourt individually. Deflected pass. Linneman tried to get it. Deflected out of bounds. It was touched. That Adel bench is going slightly crazy over that move, saying, why'd you touch it?
That was assistant coach Richard Adkins that went into contortion.
And now, as Michelle Rosterman was trying to drive in, foul on the post guard, Patty Turley. 2 fouls on Patty. She fouled out of the first game against Hubbard at 5:37 of the 3rd period. And you remember, Frosty, both she and Julie Goodrich played with 5 fouls in that second game.
They're smart ball players as well as good ball players.
Michelle Rosterman.
This free throw has been a great weapon for Manilla throughout the tournament. Last night it really opened the gap against Southeast Polk.
Manilla now 3 for 3 from the line. Adel is 11 out of 14. Way short on that, and Linneman has the rebound, and Adel has the lead by 3 points. Interception. Sheila Bauer up with it. Loose ball. Goodrich gets it, slides along the floor, and call her for traveling. No, wait a minute. They're going to give the ball out of bounds to Elder. Out of bounds to Joyce Elder. Barb Straight. The ball tapped away from her, and Barb is called for a foul, trying to get it back. First of all, Sheila Bauer tapped it away from her. Barb fouled Sheila, so it'll be shot on the front court, and that's One of the problems with backcourt fouls, the best free throw shooter is against you on the front line.
75% of the season is Gene Rosterman at the line right now.
1-1. 46-43 score. Adel out in front, and this crowd is getting delirious over this game because they sense a very even game all the way through. Patty Turley just stood there dribbling, and she dribbled once too much.
She was going to go one-on-one with Michelle Rosterman.
Here's Michelle with the ball underneath, and Michelle Rosterman's bank shot. Scrambled for. Gene Rosterman comes up with it. What second effort? Fantastic second effort. Gene Rosterman now finishes with 24 points. Joyce Elder with 26. And the halftime is here, 46-45. Adel will be back with...
Inducted into the Hall of Fame were 1968's Jeanette Olson of Everley, from 1943 Maxine Armstrong of Wyoto, 1942 Verna Vorba of Cloutier, 1967 Lois Stufflick of Kanawha, and 1954 Barbara Johnson of Arlington. Let's join Jim Zabel now for the start of the second half.
And now we go into the second half of this ball game, and we have a one-point battle here with Adel leading. They're driving toward the west basket to our left here in Veterans Auditorium, Des Moines, and it's Gene Rosterman, the young gal who had such a great first half, and Donna Schroer now comes up to put Manilla back in front again, 47-46.
Another statistic, Jim, of importance, the first half turnovers. Adel 7, Manilla had 8.
Julie Goodrich to Elder. Perfect shot. Joyce Elder now 28 points as she starts the second half.
And Joyce Elder is now the scoring derby leader in this basketball tournament, replacing Sue Frakes.
Donna Schroer to Gene Rosterman to sister Michelle Rosterman. Too close there for Patty Turley. She's called for a foul, and that is number 3 on Patty Turley.
We mentioned at halftime that the foul column could be the important column before this championship game ends.
Gene Rosterman will throw the ball in to Donna Schroer. Back to Gene. Makes her move. She likes that jump shot from the lane, but I think she was a little bit off balance, and Patty Turley gets her tied up on a jump ball with Donna Schroer. And that's the way it'll be. Donna Schroer spells her last name S-C-H-R-O-E-R, and the Rostermans have it. Gene against Turley. Quite a battle. Sister Michelle. Back to Gene. That's their favorite play. Just takes that handoff and drives right through.
And with that, she became the second greatest scorer in this tournament, replacing Sue Frakes.
Manilla leading 49-48. Adel with the ball in forecourt. Julie Goodrich underneath to Elder, and she's tied up with Shelley So. You know, Frosty, we're talking about the great guards, and this young lady,
6 foot tallest sophomore.
Tremendous future ahead of her. Number 44 for Manilla. Larry Bullock's got to be pleased with her performance in state. And the tip is controlled. Let's see who's going to get the actual award of the ball. They're going to give it out of bounds to Manilla.
Jim, how many times have you seen great sophomore guards come back the next year as great forwards in the junior year?
Right, and they could just easily work her into that front line along with the Gene Rosterman, who's only a sophomore. Here's Gene as she drives down. A blocking foul on Judy Linneman. So now, you know, we're talking about Larry Bullock worrying about fouls for Manilla, and right now it's Larry Niemeyer who's going to have a few worries himself.
Last night, they had only 1 foul in the whole third quarter. That's 4 on Judy Linneman.
Right. Manilla now with the ball. Schroer with it underneath to Michelle Rosterman. Michelle has the angle and the score. And so you see Manilla now pull away in a nip-and-tuck ball game, 51-48. The momentum is swung around the other way again. Adel with the ball. They try to lob it in under on a give-and-go play to Barb Strait, and the ever-alert backcourt of Manilla gets her tied up. Debbie Keat will jump.
That's referee Don Lakeman, a veteran official, moving in there to throw it up.
Shelley So is tied up with Joyce Elder. And I think Joyce Elder may have met her match here as far as strength is concerned.
Physically, it's a toss-up.
Tip is controlled over to Goodrich, but they call a violation against Adel on that jump. Shelley So will throw it in. Manilla with the ball. To Gene Rosterman. Back again. Donna Schroer has it taken away from her. Nice steal by Shelley Bloom. Stolen back again. Very aggressive. And here's Rosterman with the ball and the shot. They fight for the rebound, and a foul is called on number 32, Schroer. Donna Schroer charged with a foul. 51-48.
If they can afford fouls, it would be in the front court.
Forwards rarely foul out, even when they play a lot of defense. And most of these forwards do play a lot of defense. Bloom over to Turley. And now they call the foul on Sheila Bauer for reaching in.
That's 4 on Sheila. Her sister Kathy already has 4.
So Larry Bullock is sitting over there. He's very tense, concerned about this situation in his guard court. You are allowed 6 personals, however. Joyce Elder on a fine feed from Goodrich goes in for the shot. And as she does, another foul is called on the back court. That's 5 fouls on Sheila Bauer. And right now, Larry Bullock wants timeout. Here's Joyce Elder at the free throw line for Adel. Adel very hot at the free throw line in the first half. That's how they got that lead. But not anymore. And Shelley So has the rebound. Adel trailing 51-48.
How many times do you suppose Adel has been behind in the third quarter this year?
Not very often. They had a nip and tuck game with Urbandale, which Urbandale finally lost in overtime, 69-66. And Manilla again. Donna Schroer comes up with it. The biggest lead that Manilla has had over Adel, 53-48. Back again to Barb Strait, to Julie Goodrich, trying to find that opening underneath to Elder. Ball is slapped out of her hands with a great defensive play. And are they going to get it? The ball goes out of bounds. Did you ever see a defensive play like that?
Jim, I hate to put the pressure on anybody, but when they name an all-tournament team, they maybe better have that girl on it. She's only a sophomore, but she's fantastic.
Number 44, Shelley So. Boy, she's going to be something else by the time she gets grown up. Foul is called on Michelle Rosterman, number 24.
Larry Bullock, who draws a deep breath every time he hears a whistle right now in foul trouble, can afford him best in the forward court.
Well, he's going for broke. He's not making any substitutions out there, and Joyce Elder has the ball. Julie Goodrich. Goodrich down the right side, out to Elder. There's Joyce. Joyce Elder comes in with her 30th point of the night. 53-50, Manilla with a 3-point lead. And the gals from Southwest Iowa have the ball in forecourt. Jean Rosterman. Jean Rosterman, 28 points for Jean. What a scoring battle between Jean Rosterman and Joyce Elder.
Elder now has 30.
Julie Goodrich. Over to Barb Strait.
Both of those great scorers will be back again.
Barb Strait. Now a foul is called. That's 5 fouls on Sheila Bauer, 5 fouls on Kathy Bauer. The Bauer sisters are in deep foul trouble.
Kathy,
and finally, Larry Bullock is going to make a move over there.
Kathy fouled out of the Southeast Polk game. Sister Sheila fouled out of the Audubon game.
And right now, number 30, Kathy Bauer is going to the bench.
Tammy Moore is the little lady that's coming in.
Tammy Moore, M-O-H-R, coming in. And Barb Strait at the line.
Tammy's a veteran athlete on the state champion cross-country team at Manilla.
Frosty, she's 5'5", 17 years old, a junior. Both shots are good for Barb Strait. And it's 55-53 Manilla. Tammy Moore whips that ball across the line. They try to get him caught. And a foul on number 21 of Adel in the backcourt on Judy Linneman.
And she has 5.
5 fouls on Judy Linneman. She thought she had a chance to slap that ball away. She did, but she got caught in contact.
Judy has not fouled out of any ball games yet in this tournament.
Jean Rosterman. Down ashore. Underneath to Michelle. Look how she takes that stance.
We have to keep in mind also that Adel's number 4 guard, Colleen Carroll, is the one that hurt the ankle, Jim, in the first half. They had it on ice. She came back out of the locker room at the start of the second half, and she was running okay.
57-52, Manilla with the lead. Adel with the ball, and here's Joyce Elder. Let's see that. Ball went halfway through, and big Shelley So takes the rebound. Jean Rosterman to Michelle, rather, over to Jean. There's that lead pass underneath, and look at him go!
And the crowd suddenly.
They are on fire. They are on fire. 59-52. I doubt whether Adel has ever been behind by this much in the third quarter, if at all. Julie Goodrich, that is partly blocked. Shelley So gets it. Manilla with the ball, and they are starting to dominate this game now. Unbelievable.
On offense, Adel is beginning to force it just a little bit.
Manilla with the ball, and Manilla had to be a solid underdog in the minds of everybody except the Manilla fans, I would say, in all fairness to this one, because Adel was undefeated and rated number 1 in the state. There's Jean Rosterman. And Michelle Rosterman, rather, shooting and scoring. And right now, it's a 61-52 lead for Manilla. Adel maybe getting desperate here. Foul is called on the backcourt of Manilla. And Tammy Moore charged with that foul.
Colleen Carroll, who had the injured ankle, is back in there. So is Debbie Bremer coming in. Debbie, incidentally, is a freshman, is the tallest guard ever to play at Adel in the first 6-footer that Larry Niemeyer ever coached.
And Patty Turley goes to the bench, as does Judy Linneman. At the free throw line, Barb Strait. 61-53 after they had a 9-point lead going here in the third period. 3:08 to play. Barb Strait cans 2 of them. Frosty, the big difference here, Julie Goodrich is not having her normal scoring game.
Yes, I think you're right. So goes Goodrich usually. So goes Adel, despite the fact that Elder is the leading scorer.
Bottling her up. They're not letting her get the shots she likes, and they're bottling up those passing lanes, too. Okay, Michelle Rosterman. Back to Jean Rosterman. Donna Schroer to Michelle Rosterman to Jean.
Colleen Carroll is moving regular speed down there.
Underneath to Jean Rosterman. Buckmore on the rebound, and Donna Schroer shoots and scores. Donna Schroer for Manilla.
14 points, Donna Schroer, and she's a big factor right now.
63-54, Manilla by 9. Julie Goodrich with the ball for Adel. Tries to shovel it up there. She's fouled by Shelley So.
Paid attendance, Jim, 14,318, and are they getting a look tonight?
One of the great combination doubleheaders I've ever seen at State, Frosty.
That puts this tournament up over 88,000, I believe.
Right close to the 90,000 mark. This is, we predicted would be close to 90,000. The most attended tournament when you consider it as one unit of attendance in the entire year in the state. Maybe in the history of the state.
You have to realize Thursday, Jim, 29,000 people for the afternoon and evening session.
All right, the free throws now making a 63-56 ball game in favor of Manilla. Jean Rosterman over to Michelle. Back to Donna Schroer and back to Jean in the top of the circle. Jean Rosterman drives down unmolested, but she traveled with the ball.
Some pretty good defense by Debbie Bremer, the 6-foot freshman girl we mentioned that came in there. She's a head up one-on-one with Michelle Rosterman, but blocking the lane real well on Jean Rosterman's drive.
Shelley Bloom, number 31, tries to drive, and she is called for a violation. So on the dribble, it'll be a turnover, and the ball goes over to Jean Rosterman. Back to Donna Schroer and back to Jean Rosterman. To Michelle Rosterman. Donna Schroer to Jean Rosterman. Look at her get position as she drives down. In and around. Shoots and scores.
That quickness of that great track program again.
65-56. Coming to forecourt now. A foul is called. And Barb Strait will go to the line.
Coach Bullock wanting timeout right now.
Foul is on Tammy Moore. Timeout is called. Break in the action. All right, at the free throw line when time is in. It's going to be Strait at the free throw line. Barb Strait, 15 years old. You realize that Julie Goodrich has scored only 2 field goals here in the second half. At the free throw line, it's Strait.
You know, Julie's a kind of an athlete, though, Jim. When the going gets tough, she might be back.
65-57, make it 65-58. With Manilla out in front, aiming for an upset, as it definitely would be of the form chart. There comes Elder with the interception to Goodrich. Off the left side, underneath, and a foul is called on Moore. Foul is called on Moore.
Boy, howdy, how these one-on-ones can be such a weapon. This little gal down there, Barb Strait, has to be a pleasant surprise this year for Coach Larry Niemeyer.
Barb Strait now goes to the line with the bonus shot if she makes the first one. And she does make the first one.
She's shooting about 64% on the year at that free throw line.
Manilla coming out from under that 8-point deficit to take a 9-point lead. Right now, the cut down to 5 points, 65. They're 9 for 9 at the free throw line. And traveling is called against Tammy Moore. Traveling called against number 50, Tammy Moore of the backcourt of Manilla.
We were talking about momentum, Jim. It's just like a pendulum. It can swing either way.
And now it's Goodrich with the ball for Adel. Tries to throw it in underneath, and Tammy vindicates herself as she intercepts a pass intended for Elder. Shelley So across the line. Up to Jean Rosterman. Back to Donna Schroer over to Michelle Rosterman. Underneath, the ball tipped out of bounds. And a touchdown there by Colleen Carroll. All right, Tammy Moore goes out of the backcourt for Manila.
That's Diane Rosterman, the third Rosterman sister that's been in the ball game that just came into the guard court.
Well, we got a triple sister act out there, plus the Bowers when they're in the ball game. Now Jean Rosterman with it. Rosterman.
How sweet it is.
In and through and around Patty Turley. 67-60 in favor of Manila with 1 minute to play in the third period. And a dramatic change of events here at the state tournament. Joyce Elder is fouled by Shelley Soule. And the fouls are mounting up. Shelley Soule, that's number 4 on Shelley Soule. The Bowers each have 5.
And Shelley Soule lines up in that inside rebound position, something that she does so well. She got 11 rebounds last night.
Joyce Elder. Joyce Elder with 31 points. And I would say of all the guards in this tournament, Shelley Soule is about as vital to Manila as any guard is to any individual team, the way she's been playing tonight. Now they call a line violation. Lane violation against Manila, so Joyce Elder has life at the lane. 67-61, she can make it a 5-point ball game.
And you give a 72% free thrower another chance, and they'll make that 2 out of 3.
That's right. Adel cuts the margin of lead of Manila down to 5 points. We get the ball across the line to Jean Rosterman.
One of the big questions right
Donna
now
Schroer
is going to be poised. Which team finds it first?
Underneath the Donna Schroer, that bank shot is good, and Donna Schroer has really taken up the slack here with 16 points for Manila. Manila leading 69-62. Julie Goodrich with the ball. The ball tipped over, and now Donna. They lose it again to Shelley. So what a job she's doing in that backcourt. Jean Rosterman. Donna Schroer. Michelle Rosterman. Back to Jean and over to Donna. Jean Rosterman. Michelle spins around. There's Schroer. And the rebound grab for Colleen Carroll comes up with it. Across the line, Patty Turley over to Goodrich. She tries to get a pass, and it goes out of bounds. Julie Goodrich attempting to pass, and the ball goes out of bounds. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Manila 69, Adel 62.
A jump ball starts us off here because neither team was in control when the quarter ended.
All right, the ball went out of bounds, and Manila is in control now very definitely as they move out of the backcourt. Down to Schroer, to Jean Rosterman. Manila out in front here, leading 69-62. There's Michelle Rosterman. We got the old-fashioned set shot, but as we said, it's just as good in 1974 when it goes through as it was back in 1924. Julie Goodrich to Joyce Elder. Underneath to Elder. And Julie Goodrich comes down with a rebound, and they call a jump ball. The Adel fans are not happy about the call, and they voice their objection, thinking perhaps a foul was involved there, but none is called, and so it's a jump. Manila with it. Shelley Soule over the line to Michelle Rosterman to Donna Schroer. Back to Jean Rosterman. Schroer to Rosterman. To Schroer. Rosterman to Schroer. Jean Rosterman lobs it up there. The shot is good, but she traveled with it. The out official calls traveling.
Just a turnover. Nothing goes on the scoreboard on the turnover. Adel gets a chance to handle the dice.
All right, and Adel now trailing by 9 points. Judy Linneman trying to get that ball across the line. Colleen Carroll out of the backcourt for Adel, or trying to get it out of the backcourt.
Jim, I'll tell you something about backcourts. Adel better cut that gap pretty soon, or you're not going to see Larry Bullock stay back there.
Right, and they get it. Bremer gets it across the line. Back again to Goodrich. Goodrich sets and shoots, and it's no good. And Julie Goodrich is having trouble getting that ball through the hoop, and they're just giving her one try at it. Rosterman with the ball. Passes back out, and Michelle Rosterman's bank shot. Back to Jean Rosterman. Look at that great second effort. And now the biggest lead that Manila has had, 11 points, 73-62. And Adel is in deep trouble now.
34 points for Jean Rosterman.
Barb Strait trying to hold on to the ball. Julie Goodrich has it. To Elder. Joyce along the baseline. Oh. Look at that reverse pivot shot as she lays it through there under the basket, then back through. 73-64. Bill Walton will be happy with that one. Gene Rosterman. There's Gene again on a scoring rampage. Gene Rosterman turning out to be the superstar of this ball game. 36 points for Gene Rosterman. Julie Goodrich to Joyce Elder. Back to Julie. To Joyce. And a little bit short because of the pressure put on her. Shelley So down with the rebound. And Barb Strait takes it. And right now we have the Bauer sisters coming back in there. So,
Jim, the ball handling artists, when they come into that guard court, keep in mind, again, as I say, Larry Bullock, the Manilla coach, he's a slowdown artist from Western Iowa.
And Frosty, far from being in trouble, they have their starting guard court back in there again.
And he just might slow it down.
They have 5 fouls on the Bauer sisters.
Here they go.
On Shelley So, and he put them in there because they're going to go into a game of keep away. And force them to come after that ball with a 75-64 lead. And of course, in girls basketball, the guard court, they can keep it in the backcourt as long as they want to, as long as they can.
And if there's a foul, Jim, they get their option. They'll go to Gene Rosterman, who won 3rd in the state free throw contest yesterday.
He's not going to miss very many of them. They could keep this up all night. Shelley So for the Bauers.
Adel crowd giving it the Bronx cheer, of course.
Right, and the Manilla fans in ecstasy. You've got to realize, if you're listening, viewing from out of state, and are not familiar, this is an upset of tremendous magnitude because Adel ranked #1 in the state all season. In their key game in the quarterfinals, they knocked off their chief rival, Mediapolis, which was rated #2, and which had defeated them last year at the same time for the title, and right now it's a foul on Joyce Elder. And the fans, Frosty, are sensing an upset in the making here. 4:26 to play.
Jim, referees have a lot of pressure right now. I think this will be called probably a 2-shot foul. The referees have the responsibility of saying now whether it's 1-1 on a foul or if it's a deliberate foul.
They're saying it's deliberate. It's 2 shots.
And on 2-shot fouls with a 75% shooter at the line.
Gene Rosterman gets another one. Judy Linneman came over to, thought it was just a 1-1. Rosterman goes to the line again. And right now it's 76-64, 12-point lead.
You know, that Gene Rosterman's a sophomore, so is that Shelley So in the guard court, Jim, and both of them could be towards that all-tournament team.
Joyce Elder baselines it, but they're forcing her to take off-balance shots. Now she gets one through. Elder with 36 points. Gene Rosterman with 37. And a foul on Goodrich as she tries to get the ball away. And does get it away, but she's charged with a foul. So they go to the front court once again.
And the rest of the ball game, you're going to be seeing and saying, Jim Zabel, Gene Rosterman a lot of times.
And for the next couple of years, with a post guard and a forward like that, Gene Rosterman at the line.
Manilla High School is in a brand new gymnasium this year. And I bet they built a new trophy case along with it.
And they got the fire truck out and ready to go. Gene Rosterman. 1 and 2. And Gene Rosterman now with 39 points for the game. 78-66. It's Manilla leading. And now everything's going wrong, as it so often does with a favorite team that falls way behind. Sherry Bloom tried to hold on to that pass and couldn't do it. Goodrich tries to get it. She does get it. Falls on top, and girls' ball, you're allowed to get up unmolested. Now a foul on Bauer. She's out of the ball game. Sheila Bauer out of the ball game. Listen to the cheers she gets from her fans as she goes to the bench. And it'll be Debbie Keat coming in for number 54. She doesn't have too much reason to cry right now, Frosty.
No, those are tears of jubilation, I would imagine. She has a lot to be proud of. This ball game still has a long ways to go. 3 minutes and 54 seconds.
And at the free throw line, it's going to be Barb Strait. Manilla leading by 13. Correction, by 12. Cut that to 11. It's 78-67. Barb Strait.
She made 8 out of 10 against Mediapolis at that free throw line.
Barb Strait now has her 18th point of the night. give her 2 points more, and it's 78-68, a 10-point ball game.
Barb has made 11 straight
Favor
free
of Manilla.
throws in this ball game, 11 straight.
A game of keep away in the backcourt. Sheila Bauer off to Shelley So, and Debbie Keats, the other guard, number 54.
This Shelley So, for 6 foot tall sophomore, moves fine agility.
Joyce Elder tried to slap that ball away from big Shelley So, but she got it back again. Debbie Keats. And I don't think the Adel forwards have been put in the position of playing this much defense all season. Not that they haven't played a lot of defense, but they've held leads of 20 and 30 and 40 points in their ball games. That's why they haven't had to play that much defense in terms of trying to get the ball away from opposing guards.
They're matching strides with one of the state's great track programs.
At the free throw line, once again, you guessed it, number 10, Gene Rosterman. 40 points for Gene Rosterman. And if ever a sophomore or a pair of sophomores on one team had a great game, you got to say Shelley So and Gene Rosterman have been that pair.
A great tournament, Jim, I think, as well as a great game.
Gene Rosterman. And right now, 80-68 is the score, and Adel is on the short end. The team that was supposed to win the tournament going away. From the corner is Goodrich. She can't buy a bucket. Julie Goodrich's inability to score probably has been the key thing here. The ball is slapped around, and coming up with it is Debbie Keats.
We talk about sophomores, Jim. We have to remember Kathy Bauer is also a sophomore at Manilla.
Now, but Debbie Keats. What a job Larry Bullock has done out there. And a foul on Joyce Elder. People all year long, you know, Frosty, were talking about watch Adel. They got 5 of their 6 starters back from a team that finished second at state last year. Well, the 5 are back. Unfortunately for them, it looks like they're still going to finish second. The way Gene Rosterman and company are going. Gene Rosterman with her 42nd point. And right now they're increasing that margin up to 81-68.
Last time Adel failed to score more than 68 was Urbandale in overtime. They won that 69-66.
All right, Judy Linneman with the rebound. Pegs it over the line, and it goes out of bounds, but I believe it was touched by Sheila Bauer. It'll be played in by Joyce Elder.
Julie Goodrich is going out of there.
Julie Goodrich goes out. A tremendous round of applause for Julie Goodrich.
Noreen Groff is the girl coming in.
They need a little more height out there. Noreen Groff has come in, number 43, and Barb Strait hits the shot. And she's fouled. And that's the end of the road now for Sheila Bauer. Kathy and Sheila both are fouled out. The all-tournament team of 1974 has just been announced. Here are the forwards: Joyce Elder, Joyce Elder of Adel, Deb Coates of Mediapolis, Gene Rosterman of Manilla, Terry Dale of Rockwell-Swaledale. Junior, sophomore, senior. The backcourt: Sherry Oland of Southeast Polk, Jean Kenkel of Woodbine, Shelley So of Manilla. Frosty, we were right on that. And Patty Turley of Adel. Shelley So is a sophomore. Now they're watching her in action right now. In fact, she just has taken the ball. She doesn't even know she's been named all-tournament. With the score, 81-71. 2:32 to play. Manilla's out in front.
That ought to be some kind of St. Patrick's Day in good old Manila, Iowa there, Jim, in those school colors of green.
The big quarter for Manilla was the third when they pulled away to a 69-62 lead.
And gave Adel only 5 shots.
Gene Rosterman. 42 points for Gene.
Wins the scoring derby.
She is now the scoring champion. And Gene Rosterman makes it 82-71. Elder gets the ball. Noreen Groff. And the foul of Deb Keats.
Well, the sands of opportunity are going through the hourglass.
Oh, wait a minute. They call a violation on Adel, and now...
Traveling
violation, right. Looked like it was going to be a foul coming up. She reached in, and now it is a foul on Adel on Noreen Groff. Charged with a foul. 82-71. 2:23 to play. With Gene Rosterman at the line for the Hawkettes of Manilla, who are leading in this tournament.
Number 6 leading number 1.
And Rosterman at the line does what she does so well, puts that ball through the hoop. 44 points for Gene Rosterman. Only a sophomore. 45 points for Gene. 84-71. Manilla in the lead. Hattie Turley with a half-court length pass to Noreen Groff. And now to Joyce Elder. Elder hitting the underside of the ring. And the foul is called on Adel. Well, when the roof starts to cave, it usually goes all the way.
And Gene Rosterman goes back to them because she shoots all of the options. Here's a girl in the tournament, Jim, that has averaged about 20 points in the fourth quarters alone. A lot of them free throws.
Rosterman comes to the line once again on the one-on-one.
Their season average was 88 points a ball game. They're on 84 right now.
And they get the ball right back again with a foul called on Joyce Elder. Shelley So. And Elder charged with a foul as she tries to get it back. And that Manilla bench and Manilla fans, and those Manilla fans are just wild with jubilation.
All year long, you wondered with the 1-2 punch of Elder and Goodrich how important was each, and I think tonight they found out.
Right, they certainly did. And how important is Gene Rosterman? You're finding that out right now. Gene Rosterman.
43 points with another chance right now.
45 she's up to right now. 86-71, a 15-point lead over Adel. First loss of the season for the Tigerettes, and comes in brilliant fashion from a Manilla team that everybody said on the first day of this tournament, Frosty, if there was one solid dark horse, considering the fact that Adel and Mediapolis were the favorites, it had to be Manilla.
Yes, people thought maybe they could be a sleeper, but as you watched Adel, everybody was just so impressed.
The free throw line again, Noreen Groff. 86-72, the score remains. And it'll be a jump ball here with Shelley So. Getting the edge on the tip. Great height advantage out there. Gene Rosterman, back to Schroer. Over to Michelle. Gene Rosterman, a great recovery there. The ball was tipped away, and a foul call prior to the shot on Judy Linneman. Linneman fouls out. Judy Linneman fouls out.
And our camera shows the heartbreak over there, Jim, of a little lady that is leaving. Also shows, of course, another young lady checking in, and Kim Countryman.
Kim Countryman comes into the lineup, and we also have Tammy Moore about ready to come into the lineup for the backcourt of Manilla. And look at the tremendous ovation that Shelley So gets. Foul on Adel. Foul is on Kim Countryman. Free throw line, Gene Rosterman. Now we have Colleen Carroll coming in. Replacing Sherry Bloom. Judy Linneman is fouled out.
Coach Larry Bullock told me last night in that interview, Jim, he said, we're better than the 1970 team that lost to Montezuma.
Well, they're proving that decisively. Now, Adel with the basketball, trying to move it out of the backcourt. Kim Countryman, number 41, has it with 1:34 to play. Adel with the basketball. Underneath the barb straight, Noreen Groff. They have taken both of the high scorers out of there. Reeves has come in. Diane Reeves coming in the front court of Adel.
A lot of kids getting a chance to say, hey, I played in a championship game.
Not only the state tournament, but in the championship game. Ball is tapped out of bounds, and it will be played in by Manilla in the back court. And listen to the hand that Michelle Rosterman gets as she comes out. We call her Miss Perfect Posture because of that set shot she takes and makes with great regularity.
That Rosterman family consists of 9 girls, 3 boys, and 6 girls, I guess. Also 3 boys and 6 girls. 5 of those girls have played for Coach Larry Bullock.
Well, they got a lot of chance for basketball scrimmaging out around their house. Okay, the free throw no good, and Colleen Carroll tried to control it. Number 23, it goes out of bounds. Going to be played in by Gene Rosterman. 1:04 to play. And right now they're shouting, "We're number one, we're number one." And they have been number one all season in Manila. And right now they're number one in the whole state. And now Manila stealing the ball away, adding some icing on here and rubbing some salt in the wound. Gene Rosterman. Over on the right side to Donna Schroer.
You know,
Gene Rosterman.
Somewhere in our audience tonight, a group of kids from Maple Valley are saying, "Hey, we're the team that beat the state champions."
Right, one loss this season, the Maple Valley of Mapleton.
They were rated number 3 by Mike Henderson.
When the team that wins the big game.
Look at this little lady.
Right now. Look at Donna Schroer, the hand that she gets as she goes out. And coming in as the most diminutive player,
Mickey McMahon.
in the tournament. They list her inadvertently at 5 feet 11, but she's closer to 4 feet 10.
In that green, I think she could be a little leprechaun for St. Patrick's Day, Jim.
She's 14 years old. She's in 9th grade. What a thrill this has got to be for her to play in a championship game on a winning team.
16 inches shorter than Mary Oswego, the tallest girl at Ankeny in the tournament.
89. 90 to 74.
There goes Gene Rosterman.
And Gene Rosterman now receives the hugs, the ovation
51 points.
of these fans. Gene Rosterman winding up with 51 points. Okay, in the forward court, Adel with the ball. Slapped around, and they come up with another steal. It'll be a jump ball. Tammy Moore.
Gene Rosterman wins the scoring derby, wins all tournament.
What a trip it's been for her from Manila to Des Moines. I don't think they ever dreamed they'd be coming home with all those laurels. Even though they always had faith in their ball club, and now Manila with the ball in forecourt. The Hawkettes with reserves in their playing. That was Vicki Peterson, number 52. Vicki has the ball now. Whistle blows, and Kim Countryman charged with a foul.
You talk about a year, Jim. Their football team this year went 8-1 at Manila. Their boys basketball team lost only 2 games all year. Won a conference title. They lost only to Manning. They've had a year.
And they've got the track season coming up with one of the best track teams in the state. And right now, Debbie Keats comes out of the lineup. She receives a lot of back slaps. Vicki Peterson is at the line. 51 points for Gene Rosterman. She was the story tonight for Manila. Not the whole story, certainly, but in the offensive court and in the defensive court, it was Shelley So. It made the big difference. They count down the seconds. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Wild shot. There is the game. The game is history. And Manila scores one of the great upsets of all time. Manila, the Hawkettes, are the champions of girls high school basketball in Iowa for 1964, winning 91-74. That is the final score.
And so all the color and pageantry of girls basketball, the largest crowds ever, maybe the best tournament ever. But you see the tears of winning and tears of losing. But these are champions and champion runner-up in all the color and pageantry of girls basketball 1974 from the Sweet 16 in the state of Iowa. And from that tournament, the all-tournament team at forward has Joyce Elder of Adel, Debbie Coates of Mediapolis, Gene Rosterman of Manila, and Terry Dale of Rockwell-Swaledale. The guard court, Sherry Oland of Southeast Polk, Gene Kenkel of Woodbine, Shelley Soey of Manila, and Pat Turley of Adel. And the tournament ends with a Manila flavor, 91-74.